Hello there, my friends. Welcome to the Star Wars Vault. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for new Star Wars content every week. Alright guys, in this video we are going to talk about Episode 6 of The Acolyte, but I must warn you, there's really not much to talk about, so this is going to be a short review. To me, it's a little surprising, since this episode was about 5 to 6 minutes longer than the last one, which was basically one large action sequence. And at least for episode 5, I did get a fair amount of entertainment, I wasn't completely bored watching it. So from where we left off, Kamir, also known as Smilo Ren, has taken Osha to a quote-unquote unknown planet. Now if you're a Star Wars fan who has seen all the movies, you're going to realize this unknown planet looks just like Ahch-To, the planet Luke and Rey were on in The Last Jedi. Strangely, Osha follows Kamir, who then takes off all his clothes to bathe in the water, a very rare scene in Star Wars, if I may say. And this scene was stretched out for a few minutes, had a lot of tension. What kind of tension, you may ask? Well, I guess that's for you to decide. Osha tried to sneak up on the Sith, who clearly gave the impression that he sees her as no threat. He even encourages her to use her emotions when she holds his lightsaber. Constantly throughout this episode, he tells her the Jedi are limited in their power, as they don't tap into emotion when accessing the Force. I do think there's a couple interesting things he said in these scenes, like how when you lose everything, that is when you're truly free. But there's also some moments that confuse me, like how he tells Osha he killed the Jedi because they came to Kofar to destroy him. And while there's some truth to that, are we supposed to forget that he ordered May to kill the Jedi Masters in the beginning of the show? So wouldn't you think he maybe instigated most of the events so far? Anyway, while we have those two going back and forth, we have May and Sol on the ship. For about half the episode, Sol doesn't realize May is posing as Osha. Now I can understand his mind may be a little clouded after watching several other Jedi die in front of him, many his friends. And the acting is very good, as Sol takes a few moments showing that raw emotion, displaying the sadness and the grief. This was actually the best part of the episode, in my opinion. With that said, I still don't know how he can't sense that this is May. Sol is the Jedi Master, and he trained Osha for years. I just feel like he should have known before the little tracker dude figured it out. Sol stuns May when the power comes back on in the ship, and a member of the Jedi transmits Sol. Sol had told the Jedi earlier that his whole group was killed. However, he shuts off the hologram when he knows he's dealing with May, not Osha. When she wakes up, Sol says he will tell her more about what happened 16 years ago when she lived with the witches. I'm not sure if Sol is hiding something from her, or the Jedi, or whatever. I don't know what to make of this. The Jedi who learned of the deaths from Sol tells Master Vernestra, who seems very unsettled. Like, she looks like she's quietly panicking in this scene. Vernestra orders multiple Jedi along with herself to fly to Sol's location on Kofar. When they get there, Sol had already left. Again, I have no idea why he's hiding. The Jedi find the lifeless bodies of those who fell at the hands of Smilo Ren. Speaking of the Master, this episode ends with Osha putting on Kamir's helmet, and we hear her breathing through the mask. A clear callback to the iconic Darth Vader. So yeah, guys, I wish I could be more excited about what we saw here, but it's just not doing much for me, as well as many of the viewers. On top of all these confusing yet boring storylines, there are several moments that just take me completely out of the Star Wars universe. Right or wrong, I'm just sharing my honest thoughts. Like, I didn't expect a 2 to 3 minute scene of Smilo Ren naked in front of Osha. There are a couple of obvious comedic attempts with May on the ship, and it didn't feel funny at all. It felt a lot like that bad comedy displayed in The Last Jedi. And finally, how could I forget that apparently Jedi Master Vernestra gets stomach troubles when flying in space? I mean, you gotta be kidding me with this. At times, I feel like this show tries hard to make literal Jedi Masters come off as ordinary beings. They're not. They are Jedi Masters, not to mention they show some of them making completely stupid decisions, having unnecessary egos and hidden agendas. There's just so much blah when it comes to this show. All I want is for Star Wars to succeed, but once again, I'm gonna have to be critical. I give Episode 6 a 3.5 out of 10 rating. It doesn't help that it's coming off of Episode 5, easily the best and only passable installment of the series in my opinion. So once again, the few good qualities are Sol and Kamir, the only somewhat interesting characters in the show. The writing for these characters are not good either. but the actors do a terrific job of still making you want to care even a little. As for the twins, the main characters of the Acolyte, I'm sorry, but Osha and May are very boring, uninteresting characters. At least Osha isn't a complete walking contradiction like May is. I almost can't even stand her. May makes no decisions that are actually logical or get her anywhere. She just literally switches on a dime almost every episode. I can't take her seriously whatsoever. So anyway, that's how I feel about episode 6. Let me know what you all thought. What would you rate this episode 1 through 10? Did you enjoy it? Was it boring? Make sure you comment your thoughts below. Also, don't forget to force push the like button if you enjoyed the video. I appreciate your support. My social media is linked in the description, and with that, I'll be back to review hopefully a better episode next week. So until then, my friends, may the Force be with you.